Welcome, everyone. This is super exciting.
This is awesome.
We're without words. We had to go live a little bit early, little technical glitch there. So if you caught a preview of a video, hope you didn't see too much. But I see a bunch of people are in the chat already, which is great. We've got a few members from our team in the chat as well. So if you've got a question, definitely drop it in there, and we'll try and circle back to them throughout the show.
Great. Shall we begin, Zach?
Yeah. Wait, you need to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Bree Pettis, and I'm here at the Bantam Tools HQ. And
I'm Zach Dunham.
All right. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the new Bantam Tools desktop CNC milling machine. Here we go.
Woo.
All right. Here it is. I'm so pleased to have it out in the world now.
This has been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Hey, Bree, could you just quickly tell people who Bantam Tools is and what it is that we do?
Sure. We're at Bantam Tools. We make machines with reliability and precision at an affordable price. We're obsessed with precision. We're obsessed with machining. We're obsessed with empowering people to make parts that they can use to explore the frontier. We've been working on this machine for a long time. We've been through a lot of iterations, and we've landed here, and feels so good to be on launch day right now.
Let's do just a quick round robin on some of the high level specs for people. So this is obviously, it's a 3-axis CNC. It's fully enclosed. It ships as one unit fully assembled. There's no assembly required when this machine ships. It's got a 28,000 RPM spindle, which is
fast.
That's fast, and it goes down to about 10,000 RPM. The machine you can see there in front of Bree ships standard with a T-slot bed, and it also includes a right angle bracket and 2 toe clamps that allow for really easy fixturing right out of the box. And we're going to talk a lot more about that in a bit. The max traverse speed, so the speed that the machine bed can move front to back and the spindle carriage left to right, is 250 inches a minute. And the entire machine frame is built out of some aluminum billet that's about 5/8 inch thick, and it's a nice brushed stainless steel enclosure, ABS panels, and a clear acrylic window on the front and on the sides. We have a bunch more photos of it on our site. I think we should just let's show this thing in action.
Yeah, let's show some let's make some chips.
Okay, let's make some chips. So I think one of the most interesting things about this project was, when we wanted to make a desktop machine that was capable of cutting aluminum reliably, precisely, quickly, so we didn't want to make a machine that was basically like a relic of the past, right? Weighed, a couple thousand pounds and required an engine hoist to, install in your shop. This machine, you can actually move around your shop if you need to, and it weighs about 80 pounds, and it's still making real cuts in aluminum. The material removal rate that we were able to achieve is about 40 times faster than our desktop PCB milling machine. So 40 times faster in cutting aluminum than that machine. And that machine was basically on par with every desktop CNC milling machine on the market. So we're super proud to be turning a new chapter for desktop CNC machines here.
When we kicked this off years ago, we asked all of our users, what would they want in a CNC? And instantly people were like, well, we want it to be bigger, we want it to be faster, we want it to be stronger, we want it to be more robust. And we took that challenge.
We took on that challenge, yeah. Yeah, one of the things that's really important to us at Bantam Tools, sort of like our namesake, is punching above our weight class. So as you'll hear, small but mighty. As you'll hear later from our colleague Jim Tersini, this machine packs a lot of punch. All right, chips. Well, We've also had the pleasure of working with a lot of really great designers, and product designers and educators who have helped us come to this point in the product development process. Am I missing anything? Should we just jump on to Ian Schoen here?
Well, I think one of the things just from watching that video I'm reminded of is I think if you've ever done 3D printing, you get mesmerized by the process of watching a part grow layer by layer. And one of the differences that you can see from these videos is this is a little bit different. You put in a block of material and the material goes away and reveals your part. So it's just as spellbinding, if not more. It's, you know, when people talk about making chips, if you're a machinist or you've been in a machine shop, it's something that you are just get riveted to, that it's very satisfying.
And one thing that I did not mention, which is very important, that's different about this machine from our PCB mill, is that this machine is really optimized for 1/4-inch tooling. So whereas you can technically put a 1/4-inch tool in our PCB mill, it really doesn't have the power to move that tool through aluminum. This machine, you can cut aluminum all day long with a 1/4-inch tool. So it obviously helps the material removal rate get a lot better for you.
Let's jump into
Ian Schoen. So we had the pleasure of working with this wonderful watchmaker and designer, Ian Schoen, who's based in Philadelphia, and he had a couple weeks to work with this machine in his shop, and let's hear what he had to say about it.
The minute you make something out of metal, it's when you break through to that next level of permanence. My name is Ian Schoen, and I make pens and watches. We're in Philadelphia. We are in the Fishtown neighborhood, and this is where I come to work every day, and I make products that I designed, and I send them out into the world, and people use them, and hopefully it helps them feel something, you know? The mantra is, instead of getting ready, get started, right? So make something, and you let that guide you to the next thing. But the key is to start. The key is to make something. As a product designer, I didn't always have the opportunity to machine my own prototypes. I'd have to send prototypes out to get made for me. And often I felt that was a missed learning opportunity for me to experience how to make the thing, which would inform my design process. The Bantam Tools desktop CNC milling machine is all about material removal in my arsenal. You know, this thing can chug through a ton of material. It enables me to tape those deep cuts and get after it a little bit more aggressively than I would on my simpler 3-axis mill. You've got the enclosure, you got chip management, it's all in that one package. You could pick it up and move it around the shop. And to me, that's fantastic. I mean, you can't put a price on being able to lift up a mill and move it somewhere and within minutes be cutting again. Being able to probe a tool, being able to touch off the workpiece, being able to have a clear way of understanding where I'm gonna be machining creates an easier way for me to just say, let's go machine it right now. And the Bantam Tools software enable you to do things faster that would have taken you much longer before.
I mean, Ian is like the personification of success through iteration. I love that he talks about his arsenal. He's got an amazing workshop that's just killer.
It's awesome. Yeah. We've had a couple. Yeah. So we'll definitely do a link bomb at the end of this in the chat. We'll include links to Ian's website and his social feed. It's definitely worth checking out. It's really great stuff. We've had a couple good questions in the chat. One that I'm seeing right now is, will there be full specs on the machine on the site? So the site is live. So if you go to bantamtools.com and follow the links to the machine page, all the specs are there, some up close photos of the machine, the assembly and everything there. So definitely check that out. We also have some questions about the software. So I think that this is a great moment to segue. Bree.
Yeah.
We each have, I think, of a favorite feature that we want to discuss about the software.
And I think yours is probing. Is that right?
Yes, material probing.
Tell me about. Well, this is something that it seems so simple, but it's revolutionary. if you have a history with making things on CNC machines, it's not like you can just, I mean, with a 3D printer, you can just, send your design to the 3D printer, it'll just build it up. If it's too big, you'll have to make it smaller, but it builds the whole thing. With CNC machining, you have to start with a block of material, and you have to cut away parts to reveal your part. And to do that, you have to know where the material is and know where your tool is, the milling bit. And the old way of doing this is very tedious and involves basically a ruler to figure out where the thing is, how big it is, and how long your bit is. And we've got a feature that is super awesome. Tell us about it, Zach.
All right. Yeah, I think that this is a personal favorite of mine. So if you're familiar with the PCB mill that we sell, you'll know that we have this conductive bed. And we use that conductive bed to measure the length of the tool offset length. But we've expanded on that technology with our new software that we're looking at right here. And what we're doing is we're using that technology to now locate material in the machine. We have a couple built-in routines. This is the automatic stock location routine. You jog the spindle over the front left corner of your stock, you hit start, and it touches off the top, the left, the front, and it reports back the location and the thickness of your material. Now, if you set your work coordinate system in Fusion, that's basically all the setup work that you need to do if you're using that front left corner. But for more advanced routines, we have the center point of a bore, the center point of a boss, the outer rectangular features of a part that you can use. And we also have this single axis that you can very quickly just touch off the top of a surface, and now you're engraving a pen on a round. This is one of Ian's tricks. But like Bree's saying, the setup work with CNC machining is usually one of the things that ends up taking a lot of time and is often prone to error. And so for beginners and even experienced CNC users, this is a time-saving tool. So, we're going to be building out more probing routines, both for, location as well as offsetting plans over the next couple months. But we have a whole list of them to get started. And yeah, this is a really neat feature of the new software. All right, that's my favorite feature. What's yours, Bree?
So, I'm really excited about our SVG feature. This allows you to take a scalable vector graphic format type of file, drag it into the software. And this is a 2D file that's usually a bunch of lines. And our software lets you choose by color coding the different lines, whether or not you want to mill out the inside of a line, if you make a circle and you want to make that a hole, you can choose to cut out the inside of the circle, or you can choose to cut on the line of the circle, like if you were engraving a circle on a thing, or you can choose to cut outside, which would leave like a column. So
let me play this video for you.
Oh, yeah.
You can chat over this.
So this is great. So if you've ever used a laser cutter, you've seen this type of operation where you can choose different colors to have it do different things. And here we're making the Bantam Tools ruler, and it's got 0.5 millimeter increments on it. And where the red dot is, that's going to be a hole. The green means cut out everything around the green, and then you've got engraving, which is the lines on the ruler and the logo there. And this makes it just so that you don't have to go through the hassle of learning how to do CAD. You don't have to go through the hassle of figuring out CAM, which computer-aided manufacturing, which is the whole process of creating toolpaths. You can just drag and drop an image, an SVG file in here, and start making things. And
this is all real time too. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of those things where we can say, hey, this is a great way to get started, but it's actually this is so powerful for you to be able to just make stuff really quickly.
Yeah. This will be a quick getting started project that we'll post on the site too in a couple weeks. Just teaches you the SVG workflow, and you can make a little machinist rule, a little pocket machinist rule.
And so much of the sort of historical CNC software is like, okay, output a bunch of G code, drag it in there, and just cross your fingers and hope everything's right. One of the things that we're really proud of is this ability to bring in your material, say where it is, and then visualize your G code in there and see what's going to happen. It shouldn't be a really special feature, but it is, and it's awesome.
We've had I just to clarify a couple things here. Some people are asking about software files. So the machine supports G-code files, NC files. Someone's asking about, is there a Fusion 360 post processor? Yes, there is. And we're going to talk more about Fusion at the end, so definitely stick around. SVGs, like Bree just explained. In August, we're going to be releasing PCB mill support for this machine as well under our software subscription package. And I'm happy to stick around and talk about that in the chat with people after the stream as well. So yes, there's a whole suite of files that the machine works with. Definitely, obviously G-code is standard. So,
and I think one of the things that I think people don't think about when they think about a hardware company like Bantam Tools, where we make a thing, is how important the software is. And we've invested in the software. This is not like we're just being like, here's your machine, now go get software. This is a package with the software, and it's going to continue to grow, which is also exciting. We literally made a list of all the things we wanted to, and this one day we were like, okay, let's go crazy. Let's make the list of everything we could ever want out of the software. And it was an epic whiteboard rant. And then we were like, we got to figure out a way to make all this stuff. It's so good. So we're one foot in front of the other making that happen.
Let's pivot a little bit. The big thing that people have been asking us in the last 3 weeks since we let the cat out of the bag about the launch is, like, where are these machines being made?
Yep. Big question.
What's going on here? What's going on behind the scenes? And earlier today, we had a moment to sit down with our head of R&D and engineering, Jim Tersini, to explain a little bit more about what's going on with the engineering. So let's check in with Jim.
My name is Jim Tersini, and I am heading up research and development and engineering for Bantam Tools in Peekskill, New York. I've been in this industry for almost 40 years. I've worked for IBM as the lead designer for their large panel assembly and test in Poughkeepsie, New York, and as the principal mechanical engineer for product development for Jabil. Bree Pettis gave me a challenge. He said, I want you to design a milling machine that is a real milling machine. It makes real parts, quality parts, something that can take impressive cuts, but it has to be small enough to fit on a desktop, and it can't require an engine hoist to put it there. It completely fools you. You look at it and you see a little desktop machine and you kind of don't take it seriously, but it's a serious little machine, and it can make real parts. It's very easy to use, and I love that because it just opens up CNC machining to so many people. We build almost the entire machine right here in Peekskill, New York. I'm very proud of that. We have sort of a center-out methodology where we do everything that we can in-house. And if we can't do it in-house, we try to do it locally. If we can't do it locally, we try to keep it in the United States. And if we can't keep it in the United States, then we go overseas with it. This machine has the pride in it. We care about it. When that machine goes out the door, it's got all of our hands on it. The first time you make a real part out of metal, it's like an empowering thing, because metal's kind of intimidating to people, and they just don't think that that's something that they can do. Like, if you want something made out of metal, you buy it. But taking a piece of material, putting it in the machine, and running the program that you created, and watching it, it's like being a sculptor, but rather than using a chisel, you're using this machine, but seeing the thing that you created just sort of emerge out of this hunk of materials. It's a really amazing experience, and it's something that is going to have a profound effect on your life, I think. At least I know it had one on mine.
Cool.
Jim's a pro.
He is a pro. When he first joined, a lot of people don't. I mean, if you're in the product development world, you know that working at Jabil is a big deal. So yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of years of experience that are behind this product, and a lot of dedication to it as well.
Our team is awesome. We're going to celebrate later this evening virtually, and it's been a monumental effort to get here. I'm really proud of the whole team.
Let me just check in on
Let's see if we've got any
questions really quick. So people are asking about the software subscription.
Yep.
Let me just do a quick breakdown on that then. So the software is going to ship with 2 packages. There's a basic package that is available to everybody. You can download a validation version today. Obviously you can't connect to a machine until we're shipping machines, but you can download it and poke around. That's live on our site right now. And then when we're shipping machines, there will be a basic version that has the standard material probing that we showed off in the video a little while ago. That's the material location where you touch off the front left corner. You've got built-in SVG support, and you've got the single axis probing, as well as the whole new updated UI and a whole bunch of other stuff. There's a full breakdown on the software subscription page. With the subscription, you turn on a couple other things. You turn on the color encoding for the SVG. You turn on additional material probing routines like the center point of a boss, the center point of a bore. You've got feed rate override. And I think the most important thing about the software subscription, though, which Bree was speaking of, is that there's going to be a regular updates process. So we're committing to monthly updates for software subscribers. In August, there will be PCB milling support for subscribers with this machine. In September, we're hoping to have out conversational CAM, so draw a box. We'll be able to mill something similar to the SVG support. So that's really probably the biggest reason to subscribe. You can learn more about that on our website at bantamtools.com. And we'll try and answer some more questions on that in the chat.
I think the other thing I would say about that, Zach, is that being a subscriber empowers us to continue to develop the software and take it and continue to just take it next level. And so that your machine will improve as your experience with the machine will improve as we develop the software more and more. I mean, out of the box, it's rock solid. You could just get it, have the basic package, and be totally happy. But we're adding lots of extra sugar on the subscriber side to make it so that it's worth it.
This is true. If you've been a Bantam Tools user in our PCB mill, the basic version of the software is an enormous upgrade from the control software that we've had for years. So we're really excited about it. We're going to be doing some live streams probably later in the month to walk people through it. But there's also a nice sort of 4-minute video that shows you the features more in depth that you can check out on our site. Should we keep moving?
Yeah, let's go. What's up next? What do we have here? We've got.
Are we at our last party trick?
We're on to Fusion 360 templates and sort of talking about the difference between 3D printing and CNC. Let me jump in on that one.
You kick it off.
So, I mean, I have some experience with 3D printing, and I'm proud to have sort of unlocked the superpower for a lot of folks to make parts out of plastic. And this, making parts out of metal is next level, and it's not for everyone. Like it is, we've made it easier than it ever has been before, but it's still like if I was just getting into making things, I'd probably advise somebody to get a 3D printer, get started, learn that whole world, get really comfortable with it, and then once you feel a lot of confidence in both on the sort of like using the machine and the design process, jump over, get a Bantam Tools desktop CNC milling machine, take it to the next level. This is one of those things where it's like a bigger challenge, bigger reward. Making metal parts, I think Ian Schoen mentioned something about like permanence. Like you're making something that is like metal has a generational. Yeah. It's like a generational amount of time that you're going to make stuff that you can hand down to your kids. You're going to make stuff that you can hand down to that your kids will hand down to your grandkids. Like you can make parts that will last a long time. What do you have there, Zach?
This is a like a little EDC knotting tool that we made on the mill. This is on our projects page. This is one of our getting started projects. Teaches you how to flip a part in the machine. Yeah, and I can say like the experience of putting a part in the machine, learning how to flip it and have it all come out perfectly, extremely empowering. Yeah.
Zach reached out to me when he made this part, because we've been working on this machine for a long time, and he's like, Bree, it's true. Like when you make a part, it feels amazing. You know, it lights up the pleasure centers of your brain. It makes you feel really proud.
Yeah.
Great.
But
talk to us. I want to jump over and talk to us a little bit about the Fusion 360 side of things.
Yeah. So like we said, the machine, there's a there's a post processor for the machine in Fusion 360, which just over sort of explain. Yeah. So there's a way in Fusion to export your CAM toolpaths and have them be read for this machine. There's a post processor that basically arranges the code specifically for this machine. But that's one sort of baseline level of integration. And what we were finding over the last 6 months is that, like Bree's describing, you have a lot of people who are interested in getting into CNC because printing things out of plastic is great. Making something out of metal that's really functional is unlocks a new experience. But learning CAM is I don't want to say a dreadful thing, but it's a very confusing
Historically,
thing.
It has been.
There are lots of boxes to check. And so actually this past year at Autodesk University, was lucky enough to learn some tricks from folks like John Saunders and Rob Lockwood, who sort of helped point us in the right direction of creating these Fusion 360 CAM templates. So let me explain what this is, because this is pretty neat. So the Fusion 360 CAM templates allow you to basically drag and drop your model into the template, hit Command G, go over to the Manufacture tab, hit Command G, and a whole suite of toolpaths automatically populate and dynamically sort of adjust themselves to your model and allow you to basically export the code, and you're off to the races. And specifically, these templates, they're tuned for the materials that we sell in our store, the tooling that we sell in our store. So usually when you're, configuring an adaptive clearing toolpath, you have to adjust, all right, well, what's the tool that I'm going to use? What's the speeds and feeds that I'm going to run? Well, the templates have all of that information already built out. One of my favorite things was sharing some of these earlier templates on our PCB mill with a designer, Sophie Wong, who's got a lot of experience with 3D printing, and the templates really allowed her to break through to start CNC machining stuff. So again, there's the template has the machine bed. You drag and drop your model. Make sure that it's in the stock model. That piece of stock is actually modeled to the stuff you sell in the store. And then hit Command G, and then all these toolpaths basically auto-populate. So this is, again, another time-saving feature. It's an educational feature. This is something that we expect to be really helpful in classrooms. But people who run a job shop, they use tools like this. They don't tell their friends about them because it actually makes them money, because they save a lot of time. And we're happy to be sharing these back with the community of Bantam Tools users. So yeah, lots more to come on this, but this is definitely another favorite feature of mine.
Historically, CAM is just one of those things that keeps people from getting into CNC.
Yeah.
Because the tools are tens of thousands of dollars and are not easy to use. And I think we have to give credit to Autodesk in Fusion 360. The CAM is just included in that. You don't have to buy a whole nother suite. It's in there. And then we've worked with them to make these templates, which allow you to just go zip and make stuff happen. And take what used to take maybe a day back in the old times. Now it's just like, click and go.
Jared in the chat says, that will save an hour every project. Yes.
That's why, yes. Somebody gets it.
Can I use the Fusion 360 probing without the Bantam tools? Yes, I think you mean, can I use the Fusion 360 templates without the subscription? Yes, templates are open to everybody. What if I wanted to cut into some titanium alloy, says Brock. Brock, Awesome question. Full list of supported materials are coming out once the machine is shipping. We get the question about steel a lot. Bree, I think we should answer this one.
So I think as soon as we talk about metal, a lot of people, somebody described aluminum as being the butter of metals because it's relatively easy to machine, and we optimize this machine for that, so that to make it like the most accessible way to get into metals. And our high-speed spindle, really, you can use HSM high-speed machining techniques to really just rock machining aluminum. Now, if you're going to machine steel, steel has a different recipe. And
lower
in general,
surface beat per minute.
Yeah, in general, you want to run at a much slower speed to be able to cut through steel. Now, the slowest speed that this spindle goes is 10,000 RPM. And so to get to that lower sort of speed on the metal, you need to use you'll want to use a smaller tool, which you can do. So, with our desktop PCB milling machine, we optimize that to cut, very thin pieces of copper, PCBs, printed circuit boards. And people use that to cut titanium and all sorts of other insane things. We had, Black Badger used it to cut rock. We were like, he was like, I'm having a little bit of challenge with my CNC. And we're like, what are you cutting? He's like, stone from the set of Star Wars, no big deal. And we're like, oh my God. So, it'll do stuff, but in terms of what we've optimized it for, we've optimized it for aluminum. Does that mean that people will do insane things with this? I mean, we can't stop you. But, and with aluminum, you also get other things in that same territory where it'll chomp through brass, and then everything like wood and Delrin and plastics and all that kind of stuff, just easy peasy.
Yeah. Someone asked about vacuum port. The back of the machine does actually have a cutout for a vacuum port. It's plugged. I would say stand by in terms of a bunch of other accessories, and check out the site over the next 6 weeks too. We've got a lot of people jumping in and picking up a machine actually while we've been on the live stream, which is awesome to see. And over the next 6 months, we're gonna be rolling out a lot of really cool new accessories. I can say that there's a low profile vise that's coming for this machine that looks awesome.
You might also notice that we put some holes on the front of the spindle housing, just in case something would get bolted on there.
Yeah. Or the T-slot bed. We're dropping hints at other things to come, but yeah, there's a bunch more accessories that are coming out for this machine soon. Again, another question about the build volume spec. Can it machine slightly outside the bed? The answer to that, Timon, is yes. It can machine slightly outside of the bed. I think we've kind of hit on everything. Thank you everyone so much for joining us and for watching. We should say a couple things about what we've got going on right now.
Yep. So
for the next 45 days, there's $400 off the list price of $3,999. So $3,599 is the current sale price of the machine. We also have a referral campaign that's running, which everyone who's on the list is going to get an email about tomorrow. And basically, if you share the machine with a friend and they pick one up, you get $100 off. They save $100 on your machine. So basically, you can get the machine for $3,500 if you're smart about it. Someone's just asking about financing. Yes, financing is going up on the site. Probably check back later this week if you're interested in doing that. But we should have financing through Affirm is going to be up very soon. We're shipping machines on a first come, first serve basis. So, and what that means is we're going to begin shipping in about 5 to 6 weeks. And if you want your machine early, get to the party early. Bree, what am I missing?
I think we owe a debt of gratitude to all of our customers and folks who've supported us over The company originally started as Other Machine Company, was renamed Bantam Tools, and so there's a lot of appreciation. We feel a lot of appreciation towards everybody who's been with us along the ride. Thank you, and I'm excited to have you on the bus as we go forward.
Yeah, that's a really important point. Like we said in the beginning, the sort of design premise for this machine came from the community. So we're just so excited to see what y'all will make with this machine. Stay tuned. We're going to hang out in the chat for a little bit and answer some questions. But yeah, thank you all for joining us.